What are the passports available right now that you can get right away? If you are a wealthy individual and you want to invest in a new citizenship, you might have heard of multiple countries. I'm going to give you what's reasonable, what's not reasonable, what's true, what's not true, timelines, prices, what you can expect. First one being Turkey, with Istanbul being that city in 2 continents. That's $400,000 in real estate. That might go up in price again if you don't act fast. They have this option. Before it was $250,000 in real estate. Not all real estate, but the ones approved by the government to be in this citizenship by investment program. There's also the option, because of the inflation of the lira and all of these things, they developed another way to get the citizenship, which is investing in bonds. $500,000 in US dollars. So you put the money locked in dollars, not in lira, so you don't need to worry about the inflation of the lira. You might need to be worried about the inflation of the dollar, but that's for another topic. So you have that option for Turkey, a strong passport. Not as strong, of course, as EU, but a country that, if you think visionarily, it's a country that always kept good reputation with multiple countries. Of course, they have their things with Armenia because of what happened in the genocide. But besides that, Turkey is kind of a neutral country when it comes to wars. Might be interesting for you, and it's also very well connected geographically in, between Europe and Asia, and very close to the Middle East and Africa, etc., etc. The other option you have is Armenia. This one, along with Paraguay, is what I call starting the clocks to tick. What do? You get your permanent residency. In case of Armenia, you can get it directly, and in 3 years you get the passport. You don't need to spend time in the country almost at all. Paraguay is similar. 2 years of temporary residency, 3 years of permanent residency, and after 5 years, boom, you can get the passport. You need to create some ties. Yes, that's true. Paraguay is not as easy as Armenia. However, it is possible, and with minimal requirements of staying there. It opens door to all the Mercosur for Paraguay, because it's part of this agreement. Similar, to the agreement they have in Europe with the Schengen area, open borders. And then Armenia, you have China and Russia open, which is very interesting. Another passport that opens doors to China and Russia, 90 days every 180. For example, if you have the Serbian passport, it opens door 6 months every year to Russia. Might be interesting to you. Also, it's in Europe, but not part of the EU, which is an advantage in case you want some diversification. If you already have a EU passport, then you would have a non-EU passport. So that can be good for you. Serbia, it has different routes. You can have 3 years of temporary residency, 3 years of permanent, and after that, 6 years in total you can get it, or you can have ancestors, or you can marry a Serbian person, citizen, or they can give it to you by exception, which is a way of, you are valuable to the Republic of Serbia, and therefore you are granted citizenship. If you are an actor, celebrity, doctor, sports person, or if you have some contacts with ministers, people inside the government, the president himself. If that's something you'd like to explore, well, you can contact us and reach out, explain your case, and see how you can be valuable to the Republic of Serbia. It's difficult, it's not easy, it's rare that they offer somebody citizenship by exception. However, it's not impossible. What else? You have Mexico. You can do 4 years of temporary residency and 2 of permanent, then passport. Or you can directly, if you can apply, get permanent residency directly. You don't need to go through a temporary. And then after 2 years of course, with some requirements of living inside Mexico, 18 months out of the 24 in the year, then you can also get the Mexican citizenship. Very interesting, Mexico. It's a great passport. It's so underrated. Nobody talks about Mexican passport. It's damn good. I say damn good for visa-free options. 167 countries that it's open. You can travel to Europe 90 days every 180, so virtually 6 months a year in Europe. That's fantastic. Schengen area. Mexico is known worldwide. People love Mexico. I mean, just tacos y enchiladas, güey. Ahí, viva México, cabrones. Entonces, it's a great place. Like, people think about it as like, happy. Of course, they also say beer and drugs. That's another thing that when I say people, well, I've lived in Mexico many years, they say, oh, and what about the drugs and the cartels and the balaceras, Of course, they don't say balaceras, they say the shootings, but that's how they say it in Mexico, la balacera. It's interesting to see the reaction of people when you tell them that you love Mexico and you have some ties to the country. So that's another one that it's an option. Again, it's starting the clock to tick until you can eventually go from permanent residency to citizenship. Then, of course, you have Cyprus. You can invest in real estate in Cyprus, and you can also get eventually a passport that it's an EU passport. And meanwhile, in case you have to pay some taxes in Cyprus, well, it's one of the lowest tax rates in the EU, one of the lowest. So it's an amazing option. It's a great island. I was at some point tax resident of Cyprus. I've been a permanent resident of Cyprus as well. I've spent months in that beautiful island in the Mediterranean. A bit boring for me because I wanted some more action, but if you want some chill life for you, for your family, it's definitely a good place to be in. You also have Cyprus in the mix. What other options do you have? When my clients ask me, what else can I do? Of course, you can explore birth tourism. You can give birth in Mexico. That's another way to get Mexican citizenship, or get it in Brazil. That's another great place for birth tourism. Costa Rica, you have 33 places for birth tourism. I'm gonna have another video in this channel explaining everywhere. You can have 33 children and then get 33 passports. Let's go, all the family, passports for everybody, like Oprah Winfrey. You have a lot of options for passports. Actually made a video exclusively on 10 passports, 10 countries that is gonna sell their passport, their citizenship in exchange for bling bling. You can check that video out as well in the channel. I would say when you choose a passport, it's an important decision. You can click the link down below. I'm gonna give you another passport right now. Before I give you the last one, click the link down below because all of these things can be analyzed. Sometimes you might be eligible for a passport that you are not even aware of that you can get, or maybe we make some family tree study and we see that, oh, you have some ancestors and you can claim one by descent. That it's, by the way, one of the cheapest ways, besides of course being born in the country, to get passport as an adult, and the fastest by descent. So combined, of course, the fastest is by investment if you put money talk, but by descent it's cheap and fast. So that's a great option. You haven't explored it, it's worth giving it a shot. By the way, this hotel, it's fantastic in case you're coming at some point to Belgrade, Serbia, before that I was talking about the Serbian passport. It's a great place to come, the Hyatt Hotel. And finally, another passport that you can get. Which one do you think it is? Put it in the comments down below. Which one am I missing? Which one I'm not talking here right now, but that it's possible? Well, you might not have heard about this one, or you might not even consider it, but it's in Africa. And it's a public CBI, citizenship by investment. You have 3 different options. You can create a business for $350,000 US plus a $100,000 donation. You can make a $250,000 donation, which makes the previous option a bit stupid, unless you want to create a business in that country. And number 3, you can make purchase of real estate in, what's the country in Africa? It's Egypt. You could get Egyptian citizenship, and some Egyptian citizen might listen to this and say, oh, okay, I'm subscribing from this channel. Why would I want an Egyptian passport? Like, it's worth nothing. I met once a dual national, Egyptian and Mexican. He got naturalized Mexican. He said, I just could have the Egyptian one in the trash. However, mark my words, this is one of the citizenships that is the underdog. It's not valued right now, but if one day you put this bet, you hit jackpot and Egypt becomes something like, Dubai 50 years ago was nothing. Saudi Arabia 50 years ago was what? Camels and goats, pretty much. Then you hit jackpot and become something valuable, a country that just boom, like this. And it's an African passport that also opens doors, and they also create new ties to other countries. You're gonna regret not taking action when it was at this price. So in a matter of 6 to 12 months, depending on the routes that you choose, there are some routes that is 9 to 12, another that is 6 to 9, but the Egyptian passport is also an option on the table. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you in the next video. Choose which one you prefer. From here, I'm gonna put a couple and you choose where to go next. Or if you want to talk directly with me or my team, click the link down below and we can see what's the best passport for you. You tell us how much money you have, how fast you want it, and we're gonna present the options that we have. Some of them I already talked in this channel, some of them I don't talk in this channel. You can just reach out and we'll see what's available for you. Miquel Gironès, extraordinary. Adeu, and check the videos over here.